Judge. Good afternoon. Case number 24781. Jasmine Bell versus Travis Ward. Ms. Bell is suing for $3,500 for a non-refundable wedding venue deposit. Mr. Ward, the defendant, has filed a countersuit for emotional damages and defamation. Let's start with the plaintiff. Ms. Bell, you're asking for reimbursement of a wedding deposit. What's the situation? Plaintiff. Yes, Your Honor. I paid the $3,500 deposit for our wedding venue, the Grand Oak Ballroom in Charlotte. We were supposed to get married on May 19th. I paid the deposit from my account, even though it was our wedding. Judge. And the wedding didn't happen? Plaintiff. No. I called it off after I found out he was texting another woman. Defendant. That's not true, Your Honor. She saw a message from a coworker and twisted it. Judge. Sir, you'll have your turn. Ms. Bell, continue. Plaintiff. I ended things 2 weeks before the wedding. I called the venue and they said the deposit was non-refundable, but we could reschedule or transfer the date to someone else. I figured he'd split the loss with me since we both agreed not to go through with it. Judge. But he didn't. Plaintiff. He ghosted me, Your Honor, stopped answering texts. Then, he had the nerve to tell people I scammed him for clout on Instagram. Judge. We'll get to that. Mr. Ward, your response? Defendant. Your Honor, she left me high and dry with 2 weeks' notice, told my mom before she told me, and now she wants money back like she didn't ruin my life? Judge. Answer the question. Did you contribute to the deposit? Defendant. No, but we were supposed to split everything later. We had an agreement. Judge. Do you have that agreement in writing? Defendant. No, but we had an understanding. Judge. So no text messages, no receipts, no contract? Defendant. Not about the deposit, but I got texts where she admitted she canceled because she was too stressed, not because of any cheating. Judge. Do you have those messages? Defendant. Yes, ma'am. Printed and highlighted. Plaintiff. He's twisting it. That was after I saw the messages. I was being polite. Judge. I will decide what is and isn't polite. Sit tight. The judge flips through a printed set of Instagram DMs, shaking her head slightly. Judge. Mr. Ward, this message says, and I quote, I know it's sudden, but I can't marry someone who entertains other women just because he's bored. I deserve peace. Is that what you consider an admission of stress? Defendant. She was exaggerating. That coworker's married. It wasn't flirty. Judge. Whether it was flirty or not is irrelevant right now. She canceled the wedding because she felt betrayed. You didn't pay the deposit. She wants you to split the cost. You're countersuing for defamation and emotional distress. Let's tackle that next. What's your evidence? Defendant. She made a TikTok video, Your Honor. It got like 20,000 views. She never used my name, but everyone knew it was about me. People from my gym, my job, even my church saw it. Judge. Do you have the video? Defendant. Yes, it's bookmarked on my phone. I also have screenshots of the comments. Plaintiff. I never said his name. And the video was about my healing journey, not him. Judge. Let me be the judge of that. She watches the video silently for 30 seconds, expression unreadable. Judge. Left me days before the wedding, still tried to show up in a tux to win me back? Ms. Bell, is that poetic expression or a lie? Plaintiff. He did come to my apartment in a tux the morning of May 19th. He begged, cried, and showed up uninvited. Defendant. I was trying to save what we had. I thought she'd change her mind. Judge. And instead she changed the locks? Plaintiff. Yes, ma'am. And I have the security footage. Judge. Show me. Plaintiff hands over a printed screenshot from a Ring doorbell showing Travis in a tux, holding flowers. Judge. I'll admit it. That's a sad picture. But this isn't therapy. It's small claims. So let's stick to money. Ms. Bell, did you attempt to sell or transfer the venue booking? Plaintiff. Yes. I posted in 5 Facebook bride groups. I also emailed the venue asking if they'd help me resell the date. Judge. Did anyone respond? Plaintiff. 2 people messaged, but one ghosted and the other backed out. Judge. So the date passed. No takers. $3,500 lost? Plaintiff. Yes. And it was my card that paid it. I have the statement right here. Judge: Mr. Ward, did you ever offer to repay her? Defendant: Why should I? She ended it. That was her call. Judge: That's not how joint commitments work, sir. Engagements end. That doesn't mean one party eats the whole cost. Defendant: But I didn't agree to the venue. She booked it before we chose the date. Judge: Do you have proof of that? Defendant: No, but... Judge: Then don't waste my time with speculation. The judge scribbles notes and sighs. Judge: All right, here's where we are. Plaintiff paid $3,500 for a venue deposit. Defendant contributed $0 financially. Plaintiff canceled the wedding. Defendant allegedly embarrassed online. No signed agreement to share costs. Emotional distress. Claim based on social media fallout. Next, I want to see all financials. Joint account statements, if any. Ms. Bell, prepare your transfer attempts, texts about the cancellation, and messages to the venue. And Mr. Ward, you better have evidence of actual damages for your counterclaim, not just bruised ego. We reconvene tomorrow at 10 a.m. Plaintiff: Yes, Your Honor. Defendant: Understood. Judge: This courtroom is adjourned for the day. Judge: All right, let's resume proceedings in case 24781, Jasmine Bell versus Travis Ward. Ms. Bell, you were directed to bring all communications related to the venue deposit, including any attempt to resell the booking, correct? Plaintiff: Yes, Your Honor. I printed my email exchanges with the venue manager, screenshots from the Facebook bride groups, and the bank statement showing the $3,500 charge from my checking account. Judge: Let's see it. Plaintiff hands a thick stack of pages to the bailiff, who passes them to the judge. Judge: Email dated March 3rd, from Jasmine Bell to info@grandoakballroom.com. Subject line: Request to cancel and resell May 19th booking. Their response: We will attempt to fill the date, but cannot guarantee refund unless a replacement booking occurs. That lines up with your testimony. Here's a Facebook post. Wedding date May 19th canceled. Selling venue slot, Grand Oak Ballroom in Charlotte, $3,000 or best offer. DM me. Ms. Bell, any replies? Plaintiff: Yes, pages 9 and 10. There's a message thread with someone named Malia Carson. She asked for photos and the menu, then ghosted. Defendant: That's not my problem. You picked a venue no one wanted. Judge: Sit down, Mr. Ward. You'll speak when spoken to. Now, Ms. Bell, did you notify Mr. Ward about these efforts? Plaintiff: Yes. I texted him on April 27th. I said, I'm trying to sell the date. It's only fair we split what I lose. He left me on read. Judge: Did you, Mr. Ward? Defendant: I was dealing with a breakup, Your Honor. I wasn't checking texts every day. Judge: It takes 2 seconds to reply, no, I'm not paying. But you didn't say anything, so you let her eat the cost and acted like you were the one wronged. Defendant: She made me look like trash online. Judge: Let's get there. But first, Ms. Bell, explain the Instagram story from May 18th. Plaintiff: I posted a story that said, imagine canceling your wedding and still getting ghosted after paying for it all. Healing is expensive. No names, no tags. Defendant: But people knew it was me. Her sister commented, he'll regret it. Her friends started unfollowing me. Plaintiff: That's not defamation. That's community accountability. Judge: You're not a philosopher, Ms. Bell, but you're also not wrong. Legally, defamation requires false statements about someone. Saying he'll regret it isn't false, it's a prediction. Mr. Ward, unless you can show direct monetary loss or libel, your emotional distress claim isn't looking great. Defendant: What about my job? Judge: What happened at your job? Defendant: My manager pulled me into HR, said there was buzz on social media that I emotionally abused someone. I didn't get fired, but I got passed over for a team lead position. Judge: Do you have documentation? Defendant: No written warnings. Just vibes. Plaintiff: Your Honor, I had to switch grocery stores because his cousin works at my local Kroger and kept stalking my lane whispering, Runaway bride. Defendant, she's lying. My cousin doesn't even live in Charlotte anymore. Judge, stop, both of you. Judge pinches the bridge of her nose. Judge, let's reset. Ms. Bell, did you pay for any other wedding expenses besides the venue? Plaintiff, yes, $675 for invitations, $400 for makeup trials, and $200 for catering tasting, but I'm not suing for those. Judge, why not? Plaintiff, because I only put the venue deposit on my debit card. The rest was paid with my business PayPal. I don't want it getting complicated. Judge, smart move. Mr. Ward, did you pay for anything at all? Defendant, I paid for the DJ, $1,000. He never refunded me. Judge, do you have proof? Defendant, yes. Zelle transfer on March 2nd to @DJ on the beat. Description says wedding deposit. Judge, Ms. Bell, did you agree on that DJ? Plaintiff, no. I told him I wanted a string quartet for the ceremony and a live band for the reception. He booked the DJ on his own. Judge, so he chose the DJ, paid for it, and didn't consult you? Plaintiff, exactly, Judge. Then that's your loss, Mr. Ward. Defendant, but how is it fair? She walked away from everything. Judge, Mr. Ward, she walked away from you, not the bills, and she's here in court asking for fairness. Now, Ms. Bell, your claim is based solely on the $3,500 charge from April 10th to Grand Oak Ballroom, correct? Plaintiff, yes, ma'am. Judge, and you have the receipt, the contract, and attempted mitigation? Plaintiff, all in the file I submitted. Judge, good. We'll enter that into evidence. Mr. Ward, your countersuit is for $5,000 based on emotional harm, online defamation, and career consequences. You've submitted no formal HR complaint, no psychiatric bills, and no named statements from the plaintiff that would qualify as libel. Anything else to support your countersuit? Defendant, just that this whole thing wrecked my life. That should count for something. Judge, unfortunately, court doesn't work on vibes and heartbreak. It works on evidence. Let's take a 15-minute recess. Courtroom murmurs as the judge exits. 15 minutes pass. Proceedings resume. Judge, before we close today's session, I'd like to ask one final question. Mr. Ward, if Ms. Bell had asked you calmly and privately, without TikToks and Instagram stories, would you have been willing to split the venue cost? Defendant, honestly? Yeah, I would have sent her half. Plaintiff, that's a lie, Your Honor. I tried to talk. I even sent a Cash App request for $1,750. He blocked me. Judge, you blocked her? Defendant, I didn't want drama. She kept tagging Healing Journey under every post like I was some demon. Judge, maybe you were. Maybe you weren't. But here's what I do know. Ms. Bell has receipts, a contract, and proof of effort to mitigate her loss. You, sir, have vibes, bitterness, and a tuxedo picture I'll probably never unsee. We'll resume tomorrow with any final witness testimony and closing remarks. Then I'll rule on both claims. Until then, do not contact each other. Do not post about this case. Court is adjourned for the day. Judge, we are back on record in the matter of Bell v. Ward. Day 3. The plaintiff is seeking $3,500 for a wedding venue deposit she paid from her personal account. The defendant is counter-suing for $5,000, citing emotional distress and reputational harm after the breakup and subsequent social media posts. Mr. Ward, I'm giving you the floor now. This is your chance to present any remaining defense, context, or witnesses. Choose your words wisely. Defendant, thank you, Your Honor. Look, I know how this all looks, but I didn't cheat. I didn't try to manipulate her. She found texts from a coworker named Kira, who I never had anything with. She took one flirty message and spiraled. Judge, what did the message say? Defendant, it was dumb, okay? I said, if I wasn't taken, I'd probably shoot my shot. But I also said I was taken. I was venting because Jasmine had been on edge for months. Planning the wedding made her, unrecognizable. Plaintiff. That's not true. You kept calling me a bridezilla every time I asked you to show up to cake tastings. Judge. Quiet, Ms. Bell. Mr. Ward, continue. Defendant. She got so controlling. I wasn't even allowed to pick the suit color. She told me what socks to wear. I started venting to Kira because I didn't feel heard. Judge. Did you tell Ms. Bell about these feelings? Defendant. Not directly, no. I thought things would get better after the wedding. Judge. So instead of adult conversation, you flirted with a coworker and hoped the storm would pass? Defendant. I didn't think it was flirting. I just wanted someone to listen. Plaintiff. That's not listening. That's betrayal. Judge. Ms. Bell, please, you'll have time to respond. Mr. Ward. When Ms. Bell canceled the wedding, how did you respond? Defendant. I was shocked. I didn't believe she'd go through with it. I thought she'd cool off. I tried to call. She didn't answer. So yeah, I showed up on the wedding day hoping she'd change her mind. Judge. Wearing a tuxedo? Defendant. Yes, I even brought her favorite flowers. Judge. And then she changed the locks. Defendant. Yeah, I drove 3 hours in a rental car, stood at her door, and she wouldn't even open it. Judge. That's not illegal, that's boundaries. Let's talk about your countersuit. You're claiming emotional distress and defamation. Have you seen a therapist? Defendant. No, but I've been struggling. Judge. Everyone struggles after heartbreak. Mr. Ward. That's not a lawsuit. Do you have any documentation tying her social media posts to actual harm? Defendant. Just the HR meeting. My boss said the video made them uncomfortable. Judge. What exactly did they say? Defendant. They said, you might want to keep your personal life off social media if it's going to affect the team. Judge. Sounds like advice, not disciplinary action. Defendant. But I got passed up for a promotion. Judge. Do you have emails or performance reviews proving that? Defendant. No, it was word of mouth. Judge. Word of mouth isn't evidence. You need something more substantial than vibes and maybes, sir. Do you have a witness? Defendant. Yes, my sister Tasha. She was the one who first showed me Jasmine's video. Judge. All right, bring in the witness. Bailiff opens the side door. Tasha Ward enters, wearing a leopard print blouse and holding a manila folder. Witness. Tasha. Hi, Your Honor. Judge. Ms. Ward, state your name in relationship to the defendant. Witness. Tasha Ward. Travis is my brother. Judge. You've been sworn in. Tell me what you know. Witness. I follow Jasmine on TikTok. When she posted that video, the healing is expensive one, I knew it was about Travis. She never said his name, but the date was our family's scheduled wedding weekend. Everyone knew. Judge. Did you personally see people react? Witness. Oh yeah, people from our high school started posting shady comments. One person wrote, Travis finally got exposed. My aunt called me crying. Plaintiff. His aunt texted me telling me to forgive him. Witness. Because you embarrassed him. You made him look like trash on the internet. Judge. Enough, both of you. Ms. Ward, do you have screenshots? Witness. Yes, ma'am, I printed some here. She hands the judge several printed screenshots. Judge. Comments like, he's trash, he's a narcissist, she dodged a bullet. None of these mention his name. None of them are from her. They're from third parties. Ms. Bell, did you respond to any of these comments? Plaintiff. Only once. I said, people can change, but I wasn't going to wait around for him to figure it out. Judge. That's not defamation. That's reflection. Mr. Ward, unless someone can prove she said something false about you that caused measurable harm, your countersuit is getting thinner by the second. Defendant. But she made me the villain. Judge. Sir, you made yourself the villain by texting another woman while engaged. Defendant. I didn't cheat. Judge. Emotional infidelity is still betrayal. You don't need to remove your pants to break trust. Courtroom murmurs in agreement. Judge. Here's where we are. Ms. Bell has proven payment, documentation, and attempted mitigation. Ms. Ward has proven zero financial contribution and a pattern of dodging responsibility. The countersuit lacks proof, lacks documentation, and lacks merit. We will hear Ms. Bell's rebuttal tomorrow, followed by closing arguments. After that, I will render my judgment. Until then, both parties are again reminded. No contact, no posts, no passive-aggressive poetry online. Adjourned. Judge. Day 4 of Bell v. Ward. Ms. Bell, we've heard Mayor Ward's defense and witness testimony. Now it's your turn. Present your rebuttal. And if you have a witness, this is the time. Plaintiff. Thank you, Your Honor. First of all, I want to address his sister's claim that I embarrassed him. I didn't mention his name once. The video was about my healing, not his humiliation. And I do have a witness. My best friend, Kiara Daniels. She was with me the night I found the texts. She saw them. Judge. Let's hear from her. Bailiff? The side door opens. Kiara walks in, dressed in professional attire, holding a smartphone in her hand. Witness. Kiara. Good morning, Your Honor. Judge. Name in relation to the plaintiff? Witness. Kiara Daniels. I've known Jasmine for 10 years. She's my best friend and former roommate. Judge. You've been sworn in. Ms. Daniels, what did you witness? Witness. Back in April, Jasmine and I were finalizing wedding details. She asked me to grab Travis's phone to look for the caterer's contact info. He'd texted it. While searching, she saw a thread labeled Kira. Defendant. That emoji doesn't mean anything. Judge. Sir, not your turn. Ms. Daniels? Witness. She opened it. I saw the whole thing. Travis was venting to this woman about being trapped, about needing an escape. Then he sent, if I wasn't taken, you'd be in trouble. Plaintiff. And he called me controlling. Witness. Jasmine handed me the phone, stepped outside to cry. I took a screenshot just in case. I have it here. Judge. Let me see that. Kiara hands her phone to the bailiff, who brings it to the judge. Judge. April 9th. Message reads, you ever feel like your relationship's just a life sentence in a pretty box? If I wasn't taken, you'd be in trouble. That from you, Mr. Ward? Defendant. I didn't mean it that way. Kira knows I was venting. Judge. Intent does not equal impact, sir. The judge hands the phone back. Judge. So, Mr. Ward, your whole argument was she overreacted. That text shows emotional infidelity. You didn't want out of the wedding. You just wanted someone else's sympathy while she handled the heavy lifting. Defendant. That's not fair? Judge. You're right. It's not fair. To her. Ms. Bell, anything else? Plaintiff. Yes. After the wedding was canceled, I tried to handle things quietly. I sent him a Cash App request for half the venue. I emailed the venue to try reselling. He didn't reply, just blocked me. Judge. Cash App log? Plaintiff. Page 4 in the new folder. You'll see the $1,750 request sent April 15th. Status says declined. Judge. Confirmed. Timestamped, declined, and never followed up. Mayor Ward, did you decline that request? Defendant. Yeah, because she was being petty. We broke up. That means we're done. Judge. Done with the wedding, yes, but not with the financial responsibility. Defendant. It's not my fault no one bought the date. Judge. You didn't help sell it. You didn't answer her messages. You didn't show up to court with a dime of evidence that she lied or caused you actual harm. All you brought was bitterness. Now let's revisit your countersuit. Your claim hinges on one vague HR meeting with no paper trail, a few anonymous social media comments, and your sister's opinion that does not meet the standard of proof for defamation or emotional distress. Defendant. So she just walks away with my reputation trashed? Judge. You're the one who trashed it, sir. She didn't name you, she didn't slander you, she posted her own emotional experience. And judging by your own text messages, she wasn't wrong. Ms. Bell, I have one last question. When you called off the wedding, why didn't you call him directly? Plaintiff. I tried. He didn't answer. I left a voicemail. Then I told his mom because she was paying for the rehearsal dinner and needed to know. Defendant. That was low. You humiliated me in front of my mother. Plaintiff. Your mother sent me a prayer candle and said, maybe it's for the best. Judge. Sounds like even your own mother saw the writing on the wall. All right, I've heard enough. We'll take one last recess. When we return, I'll deliver my final ruling. Adjourned for 20 minutes. Courtroom breaks. The audience murmurs. Defendant glares at plaintiff. Plaintiff holds her ground. Judge returns. Judge. Court is now in session. Both parties present. Final ruling will be delivered in Part 5, the verdict. Be back tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. sharp, and bring tissues. I have a lot to say. Judge. Day 5, final session, case number 24781, Bell v. Ward. We've heard from both parties. We've seen receipts, screenshots, text threads, financial statements, social media videos, and even a man in a tuxedo on a Ring camera begging to be let back in. It's time for judgment. Let's start with the plaintiff's claim. Ms. Bell is suing for $3,500, a non-refundable venue deposit she paid in full. She provided a valid receipt and contract with Grand Oak Ballroom bank statements showing payment from her account, screenshots, and emails showing efforts to resell the booking, text evidence of attempting to recoup costs via Cash App, documentation that the defendant declined her request, communication that the defendant ignored or blocked. Mr. Ward has not disputed that the venue was for a wedding he was party to, nor has he offered any proof that Ms. Bell acted in bad faith. He provided no signed agreement to share costs, but that doesn't absolve him. They were planning a joint event. The financial obligation was implied. Judge. Mr. Ward, when you propose marriage, you're not just signing up for cake tastings and tuxedos. You're signing up to share responsibility. You let Ms. Bell pay, ghosted her after she canceled, and then ran to social media to cry victim after you emotionally betrayed her. You didn't even try to help sell the venue date. You didn't offer to cover part of the loss. You declined her Cash App request and avoided every adult conversation she tried to have. And now you're here talking about emotional distress with zero evidence that your reputation was legally harmed. Let's review your countersuit. You claim $5,000 in damages. Your evidence is a vague HR conversation with no documentation, Instagram and TikTok posts that never mention you by name, comments from people you don't control, testimony from your sister about public opinion. None of this meets the standard for defamation or for any tort-based emotional damages. Feelings alone are not lawsuits. Judge. Mr. Ward, you want to be compensated for heartbreak? That's what therapy is for, not small claims court. Your countersuit is dismissed permanently. Now, on to the plaintiff's claim. Ms. Bell, while you were the one who canceled the wedding, the decision was rooted in emotional betrayal, proven by text evidence. The defendant admitted to the messages, to the conversation with another woman, and to emotionally distancing himself from you in the weeks leading up to the event. You made a financial decision based on shared intent. He failed to uphold his end of that intent. You attempted to mitigate the loss. You contacted him. You gave him options. That's not pettiness. That's maturity. You are entitled to 50% reimbursement for the joint event because because even though you canceled, the defendant's conduct was the spark. He played with boundaries and then let you take the fall. Accordingly, I rule in favor of the plaintiff in the amount of $1,750. That's half the venue deposit. And frankly, a very generous outcome considering you could have sued for more. Plaintiff. Thank you, Your Honor. Defendant. Wait, so she walks away with money and makes me look bad? Judge. Sir, you made yourself look bad. I just held up the mirror. Now listen closely. Both of you. This courtroom is not therapy. It's not church. It's not TikTok. It's a place where accountability shows up wearing slacks and carrying paperwork. Mr. Ward, you're not a villain, but you are emotionally negligent. You left someone else to carry the weight of your indecision. Ms. Bell, you're not perfect either. You posted your pain online knowing full well people would guess who you were talking about. You didn't defame him, but you did fan the flames. Let this be a lesson to both of you. Love is not a contract, but wedding deposits are. And when you break someone's trust, they're allowed to charge interest. Court is adjourned. Gavel slams. Case closed. What do you think? Did justice win today? Drop your thoughts in the comments and subscribe for more real courtroom stories like this.